Cole, unfortunately, you've been part of some of these now. Why did yesterday's maybe sting a little bit more?
Um, well, I think it stings more just because I talked about it for the past couple of weeks. The mindset of making a playoff push, and I know we weren't in necessarily, and we're still not out of it, but necessarily in full control. Had some things happen, but felt pretty good that if you went out, that you could that we could do something here. I thought things were kind of coming together for us as a team, and um, yeah, just disappointing to fall short there, and especially feeling like we kind of built some momentum in previous weeks, and yeah, I just think obviously defense I thought was outstanding yesterday, and for us to come up short on some of those turnovers, wasn't ideal, and that obviously stings.
Does this team need to get out of a should-have mentality? Flus was talking about the play to Cooper, the big touchdown, should have been picked. Mooney said that the offense shouldn't have taken its foot off the gas in the third quarter. Like, should have been able to finish this game. Like, is that something is that like a mindset?
Yeah, I don't know if that I just think it comes down to you got to make more plays than the other team. So they made more plays than we did at the end of the day. From my vantage point on the throw that to Cooper, I thought that was a really good throw as well. But we just got to make plays when needed the most. So at the end of the day, they made the big plays when they needed to, and we didn't. And that's the difference in this league. So we just gotta be able to make more plays.
Well, with your answer to Kevin's question, what's the added challenge this week of getting collectively a group to get back up when there is that added sting? There are only 3 games left. That playoff carrot is kind of...
Yeah, well, I never believed in, especially in this league, of guys taking it off the gas pedal, if that's what you're kind of alluding to.
More emotionally resetting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hard as yesterday was.
Yeah, you take the kind of the couple days, you kind of move on from it today after watching the film and stuff, and you got to kind of set your sights now to Arizona. I think that's the natural process of the week. And then that being said, I think usually when you get to Wednesday and guys come back in, the feeling that I always had is you've moved on from it and you get going on it, and there's always a lot at stake every game that you're playing in, no matter what the ramifications are for the team. I even go back to last year when we were out of it much earlier than we were this year. There's still a lot to play for guys in terms of putting good stuff on film, and whether that's being on this team next year or being on a different team the following year. There's always a lot to play for, and you're never going to get the short end of the stick from guys in that regard. So, I'm confident that guys will move on from it like we always have, but it definitely stings for sure.
What was your perspective on the Hail Mary at the end? Did you think you had a chance to catch that? What were you thinking as the ball's coming through the?
Yeah, you're just trying to make a play. There's a lot of tussle in there, and they're not going to make those PI calls necessarily in that situation. So you kind of just do what you can in the pile, and hope you can keep it up long enough to maybe it bounces and somebody makes a play. But yeah, I didn't see the replay really actually till the end of the game because I was just kind of in the muck of it all. But yeah, we can't be counting on those plays to win you games. That's kind of my thoughts on it.
Cole, Moody's been taking a lot of criticism for that play. How would you describe the degree of difficulty from his perspective? Because you see the replay falling backwards on that with the ball coming to him.
Yeah, well, he gets pushed out of the muck of it, so that's one thing. And again, I just go back to if that's the player pointing to, that's not the play that we should be harping on. And we didn't. And I think that's I can understand as a fan why you'd be upset because it looked like it was there and all that, but there was plenty of opportunities throughout the game for us to make things happen, and we weren't able to do that.
You guys went 3 and out on more than half your possessions.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of why the offense has struggled, even against teams not named the Lions for the last?
Yeah, well, I think just looking back to them, I think credit to them. They played aggressive, and they were doing their stuff. They were physical at the point of attack, and look, we had ops there. It was just one bust here, one bust there, and you set yourself back early and down. So we can't have that happen. And we had a lot of 3rd and longs yesterday, and it's hard to win this league in 3rd and longs. You got to keep it 3rd and manageable. And I think when we've had success in 3rd down situations, it's always been in that 3rd and 6 and going on in. But when you get 3rd and 7 plus, it's hard to convert those. So especially on a defense like that, with how physical they play. So yeah, we got to stay ahead of the chains in that regard, and be able to pick up some first downs there. In the weather and what it kind of was on the field conditions. and with how our defense is playing, you got to be able to suck up some clock and get some first downs there. And there were opportunities to do that, we just didn't execute.
What was your point of view on the touchdown you caught?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just man to man. I was actually thinking Justin was giving me a chance right away on it. I know Garrett watching the replay. I didn't see the replay till after the game. How we got out of that was impressive. He hit my corner. He got to the corner and noticed that he was scrambling and made a move. And Justin came rolling back to my side, and he made a fantastic throw. And watching the replay of how we got out of that was pretty impressive.
Cole,
Before you scored there, that was a pretty lengthy possession from the 1 yard
Yeah,
line.
8 plays from the 1. Yeah,
6 snaps and 2
that was the most exhausting 8 plays from the 1. Yeah.
What was your perspective on just kind of that entire sequence?
Yeah, I mean, they had 13 guys on the field at one play, so that was wild. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're pretty stout up front, man, and they got some good guys up front, and credit to them for doing some things. I jump off there on the one play. It backs us up a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're able to execute and get in the end zone there. So I guess that's the bright side of it. We'd hope that it doesn't take 8 plays every time to score like that. You can't depend on those type of things, but it was good to get 7 there.
Justin said that was a miscommunication on the snap count.
Yeah.
Cole, offensively in the third quarter, Darnell said he felt like you guys as a group were just happy to be winning. DJ said there was a lull. Did you feel that you guys got too comfortable offensively?
I don't think we got too comfortable. I mean, I could maybe see how you could feel like that given the 3 and outs, but we just weren't executing, man. I think the plays were there. You go look at the film today, and the calls and plays were there. We just got to execute, and we got to be able to execute when it matters there, to be able to, like I said, suck up some clock, get some first downs, and even if just getting the ball out to the 50 or to their 40, and then punting and pinning, playing the field position game. That's what we got to do in those scenarios. But I just think it comes down to execution. I didn't necessarily feel like we were taking it off the gas pedal or anything like that.
I think the root is, though, the lack of execution. I mean, we've heard this now for 15 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
Moments, what do you think it is?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I knew that, I would we would have it totally fixed by now. I think it just comes down to every man. We just gotta, you take one series at a time. You got to learn from the series prior and be able to take the looks that they're showing us, and maybe some looks that they didn't show on tape that they're doing differently to us, and we got to be able to recognize that and adapt to it as players. So I think that's kind of all I could say to that.
Well, with regard to moving on, that's been a strength of this team throughout this season. But you guys are human. There's a cumulative effect of
Yeah.
responding to all these.
Yeah.
At some point, do you fear that it just seems like the emotional dam will break? I mean, do you have to work that much harder?
Yeah. Well.
Is that a real concern? Do you think?
Well, it hasn't yet, so I'm not concerned about that necessarily. Look, it's hard. I mean, I've been grinding this thing now. This is my 4th year in this, and it's tough, man. It's tough, and you come here every day wanting to build a winner out of this, and it's tough to have games like this, and games we've had like this prior where we've been in reach of winning the game and should win the game, and it doesn't come out like that, and it's tough. It's tough coming in this morning, and that's the feeling, and we should have had this one the other day, and but we got resilient guys in this locker room, and I think that's been proven over time.
You said you guys weren't dwelling on the Hail Mary. With somebody like Mooney, do you feel for him in a way?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure he is. Yeah, I mean, because he wants to make the play. You know what I mean? But again, I just, it's hard for me to look at that and just be like, that's the play that could have won it, but you can't be depending on those plays at the end of the game to win the game. There's too many. The 3 and outs, I think, are the things that are more glaring to me. And I just think if we're able to execute a couple first downs here and there instead of 3 and outs, we probably win that game with how our defense is playing. So I tend to more look at those things. But the Hail Mary it kind of just is what it is.
Cole, you mentioned the weather earlier in the game. How difficult it was to catch, and obviously like Tanyan had the drop.
You're talking about the weather? Yeah. I mean, it was damp out there for sure. I know we all I had different gloves in the first 2 quarters than I did in the second half, just because the rain stopped and it got a little drier out there. So yeah, I mean, it's tough, but we're professionals and we got to be able to make the plays when the ball's in the air, and I'm confident we'll be able to do that going forward.
Tremaine, on the Cooper touchdown, Flu said yesterday that the ball was hanging in the air long enough that should have been a pick. When I know it was you, Terrell, and Jaquan that were closest when that ball was caught, what could you guys have done differently in that moment?
I think it's just figuring out a way to make a play on the ball, no matter who it is. Just figure out a way to make a play. If not, worst case scenario, catch and tackle.
Do you agree with that though? It should have been a pick that you guys should have come up with that.
I mean, that argument is for not for me to decide, but I definitely think that we could have figured out a way to, make a play on the ball. Like I said, if not, catch and tackle. But kudos to them. It was a good play. He made obviously a big time throw and a big time catch. But I think that we could have put ourselves in position and made a play on the ball. But like I said, it was a good throw and catch by them.
I mean, how do you wrap your brain around you have a day where you played really well defensively for 54 minutes and then you walked out of there with the result that you had despite how well you guys played defensively?
Sorry, say one more time. Hey.
How have you kind of absorbed that since leaving the field yesterday and playing so well for 54 minutes, having put forth that defensive effort and then walking out of there with that result?
Yeah, definitely it's definitely tough. I can definitely say that. But this game challenges you in different ways. The game is always won above the shoulders, and that's in the mind. You have to believe it in the mind before you can go out there and win. And we had a great group of guys in the locker room, great coaching staff. And each time we step foot on that field, our main goal is to play for 4 quarters. Obviously we know football is a game that you have to play into the final seconds till that clock hits 0. So nothing really matters as far as like how good we play. The ultimate goal is to win. That's what we play this game for, is to win football games. And obviously we came up a little bit short, but there's a lot of good things that we could take away from it. Everything is not negative. Through the negative stuff, through the positive stuff, you can learn from it. And just with the leadership that we have, with the group of guys that we have, I know that we'll learn from it, and I know we'll continue to get better.
Flacco had 162 yards passing through the first 3 quarters. What did you notice them doing differently in the fourth quarter?
It wasn't really much that they were doing different. I think just eliminating explosive plays, which we preach day in and day out. That's what good defenses, that's what good teams always preach. You want to eliminate explosive plays and you want to get explosive plays on offense. That's the key to success. That's the key to victory. Obviously they had a couple of big plays that hurt us, plays that we definitely wish that we had back. And, I think that was probably the difference in the ballgame.
You had a sudden change situation with the muff punt, and then you guys on the very next snap got it back. You had a pretty good look at Tyreek's play. What did you think of the play he made, obviously in that zone coverage to make that interception?
Yeah, that was a big time play by Tyreek. Obviously him showing his athleticism. A guy that's, continued to grind throughout this season. Obviously this is his rookie year. He's faced a lot of adversity this year, but he's continued to grind. Never made an excuse for himself. Never pointed the finger. Each day at practice he comes out with the mentality to get better. And you can see it. He makes those plays at practice. Everybody don't see it, but I see it each and every day. I see the way that he works, see the way he goes about his business. So definitely a big-time play for him to be able to give the offense another possession and definitely helped out our team a lot.
What's impressed you most about Montez Sweat stepping in here and producing as much as he has?
Yeah, I think the tape speaks for itself, not just on the field, though. I think his leadership is good. Like, his presence is felt. Just, in the building, in the meeting rooms. I think guys gravitate towards him. Guys gravitate towards his leadership. And just having his energy around, you know what I mean? Like, his energy is contagious, and you can feel that, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
Tremaine, this team has been through a lot. You guys have bounced back through adversity, on field and off. With 3 games left and the playoffs are probably not going to happen, what gives you confidence that this won't break you guys, that you guys can do it again, come back together and finish strong?
Adversity, man, it brings out the character in a team and the character in a person. I look at it as a prerequisite of, advancement. And, as long as we take it like that, as long as that's our mentality, nothing can stop us, man. No matter what people say, no matter what's going on in the outside world, as long as we believe as a unit, as long as we believe as an individual man, because that's what it starts with. You got to look at yourself in the mirror. I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, what can I do to be better? And if everybody's thinking like that, we will be better. Like I talked about it plenty of times. Like, this is just a storm, man. And, obviously we had some momentum. Another storm just came my way. But it's not about the past, man. It's about what we're going to do moving forward. And I know that we had a great group of guys, just the leadership, man. Just seeing how guys responding to it. Obviously everybody's hurt, but coming in the locker room today, coming in the meetings today, and just hearing guys just wanting to get better. I think that's a positive. I think that steps in the right direction. Because it's easy to hang your head. It's easy to hang your head, man, when things are negative. But the true test of a man is how do you judge this man, when you face a little bit of adversity. But like I said, man. So I take my hats off to everybody, man, because everybody has the right mindset. Everybody has the right frame as far as like getting better. And when you have that, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Tremaine, is
Before
it,
this, oh, go ahead, Chris.
as a defense, rewatching that 3rd and 15 play that Njoku hits for the big gain, what's the emotional letdown in the moment for that? And then as you watch that today, just how do you guys process that as a unit?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I think just being a defensive player, being, a competitive player, I mean, obviously you want the defense to be out there, to make those game time, those stoppage. But, obviously we're hurt for sure. I mean, anytime that you're out there on the field and have a chance to close out the game, we want to close it out. But, the truth of it is, the game didn't come down to just that play. The game of football doesn't just come down to a couple plays. There's, it's things throughout the game that the game usually come down to. It's a couple plays here and there. But just figuring out a way to come off the field, and just give our team a better chance of winning.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the last time you missed the playoffs was your rookie year, is that right?
Last time what
You missed the playoffs was your rookie
was my rookie year.
What have you learned about playing on a team that always had something to play for, that you can apply maybe when you don't?
Yeah, well, we still have something to play for now. You know what I mean? And no matter what the picture may look like on the outside, we still have something to play for now. You know what I mean? For whatever your why is, that's what you're playing for now. You know what I mean? If you take playoffs out of the picture, what your why is, what you playing for now. So no matter what it is, I'm always go to war with my brothers. I'm always go to war with the people that's in this building, man, because like I see the trust that we have in one another. I see the accountability we hold each other to, and I see how guys, approach their job. True professionals in this building. So no matter what the outside world may say, I'm always go to war for them. I'm always have something to play for. We're always going to have something to play for as a team.
Jermaine, with the productivity you guys have had really the last 5 weeks or so, takeaways have come from a lot of different guys. The sacks have come from a lot of different guys. What do you make of what's happened defensively that has created this swell from a lot of different guys on the defense?
Yeah, I think guys is trusting themselves. I think, the way that we practice, I think it's just translating to the game. We practice fast. Those takeaways come up throughout practice. We talk about it in film, whatever it may be. If it's something wrong, we talk about it. If it's something right, we talk about it. Give credit where credit's due. And I think that's, is equivalent to like what's going on now as far as like the takeaway showing up on Sunday. I'm just glad that, the outside world is being able to see it now because I see it day in, day out at practice. And that's always a good thing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.